By contrast, none of the Academia Temple's current members are from the desert region, nor do they use any symbols connected with the desert folk.
So the Temple of Silence at the Academia is just a fake? Wow.
It's possible. The real question is, why? My guess is they're covering something up.
Dass sie etwas verbergen. Afghanistan is this fucking galt UN Zimmi. You kilometer is Jodkam, with the steel, the new Montor, Salan, was like a Jodkam. We took him Havarna, Bahar, the Dina, the Malakan, and the Mona. Verbergen.
So, how do you know all this? Sounds like some pretty top secret stuff.
Ja, natürlich weiß sie bei Man, weil Al-Hatam ist ein Nakodi von Genshin Impact. Streng geheime Informationen, Geheimdienst.
Did you forget? He did a stint as acting Grand Sage, and kept the pay raise even after he resigned.
Oh, yeah! Paimon did totally forget about that. So you took the chance to read all the top secret documents while you were acting Grand Sage, huh?
Ik heb eenmaal als modi dat de vier chats, die liep alles, mehr als ein Mainster. Du bist natürlich erheben nach schlauer, da kann erheben جدا جوائز شو بيا وقت استي غواخ بنلسون كود سايت جوهر بارت شين وكده وي lesen ich nicht erst schon خبركي. Du hast die Gelegenheit genutzt, alle top geheime Dokumente zu lesen, als du stellvertretenderweise warst. Al-Hatem ist der Schlauste.
If you're asking me whether I familiarized myself with the documentation in my office, I would respond that that's a perfectly normal part of any job.
Ja, natürlich. Und der schlauste Mensch wird auch so eine Antwort geben. Standard.
So much about this doesn't make sense. Why did the emblem of the Temple of Silence appear on a threat letter from an Academia student to Cyrus?
ونمشي بوقت ساينو Al-Hatem keine Frage خبر ما Laila كبي Laila وتبي إيه جدا كيف زي كيف كيف نشين قبل سرسي keine Ahnung.
The student's only 16, and doesn't have any family ties to the desert. So where could he have seen that emblem, or gotten the paper?
You said you ran into Sino, yes? Did you tell him what you've just told us?
Yep. He ran off as soon as he heard what we said.
Given that Cyrus is involved, he's probably halfway through solving the case by now. Still, we should try to catch up with him. At this hour of the night, Sino will probably go looking for Cyrus at his current residence.
Sein einfach Todesengel da نه dachte ich bin dann nicht mehr der Gonus ja Rolle gewollt بس und das sein hat trotzdem bis Sakamoto Deske also schon sein Migi Takamura ist der wahre Bösewicht. Redet nicht und effektisch.
If the Academia's Temple of Silence really does exist just to cover up the truth, the sudden appearance of this emblem can't be good. It's sure to stir up trouble.
Sport basic is already شوال سرو طالما nach große Kluftmission wow.
We should pay a visit to the Academia.
Yes. As the Sage of Amorta, my master ought to know the truth about their office. You can ask him to tell you what he knows, The more information we have, the better prepared we'll be for whatever happens there.
اه فلنت هور ولا جو.
If this situation is connected to the real Temple of Silence, the emblem has to be part of a bigger conspiracy.
Kale, could I trouble you to send a message to the Core of 30? Tell them to keep an eye out for Sino and Cyrus. Traveler, Paimon, you two come with me. We'll go after Sino.
اوكي. Let's ساكسوخ لما. بس دقيقة متساوية ضربه. Okay, bye bye.
Sounds like a plan. Let's go.
Cyrus has been living in the city lately. He rented a place near the field so he can keep an eye on his tomato plants.
Then let's go look for him there.
Okay. استفدت كده. هو ده هذا. نسيلوش. وصلت من الدفتر في الدنيا. كده بيوصل مش راسه. دوتا. عارف السينيش ده. الموسيقى عارفة أنا لابس غوطة ولا كشي. يطلع في كده. عرفت التوقع ده. عارفة في اللي هنا. يطلع كده. في درس الرسم. Carry bet. Simple. Calculate locus. Was cancelled. Scheiße, also schon mal wieder schalten.
Here we are. This is the place.
ده sign up upload करना वो upload ना चाहिए था updating करा वो ये अभी मिशन के
We might be too late. Looks like nobody's home. Oh, Sino moves fast. If he was here, he's probably long gone by now.
يا مان sign اختاسم بتسكس كسي
I know that voice. Is that Tainari I hear?
Ah! Professor Zaha Hadid!
Wow, so it really is you. My goodness, whatever is going on tonight?
We're looking for Sino. So, he's already been here.
Yes, not long ago, in fact. He knocked on my door and asked if I'd seen Cyrus today. I told him the old fool left early this morning, and I hadn't heard him come back. So we went to his place, and would you believe it? He's gone. Goodness knows where to. It must have alarmed Sino, because he took off in an awful hurry after that. He never did explain what this was all about. How serious is it?
Well, if Cyrus isn't at home... Oh, it sure doesn't sound good.
Professor, did you hear that a student recently tried to extort Cyrus?
Why, yes. When I left the house that day, I noticed he was watering his flowers in the field in complete silence. He had a piece of paper clutched in his hand, and he looked lost in thought. I could tell something was troubling him, but he wouldn't tell me what it was. If Sino hadn't happened to visit him that day, after seeing the letter, Sino told him to contact the Corps of 30, but Cyrus was very reluctant. He claimed it would only damage his reputation. Eventually, he relented.
Huh? Cyrus didn't want to report it? Well, that's strange. When we saw him, he seemed pretty okay with the idea of the kid getting his just desserts.
As a former sage, it's possible Cyrus still has enemies at the Academia. That's why Sino was so insistent that he report the matter to the authorities.
So Cyrus initially hoped to stop this from going public. But why?
Oh, dear. What on earth has that old fool gotten himself wrapped up in? Oh, I do hope he's not in danger. Oh, I almost forgot. Sino left me this letter to pass on to you. He wrote it when he came by earlier. He realized you might come looking for him.
Thank you.
Kim startade he? De Gandara wel trekken, Kim het glaube ich aan het.
What does it say? Let Paimon take a look. My friends, this is a rather complicated state of affair. Unfortunately, I cannot disclose more than that. I ask you to...
Yep, that sounds like Sino. Thank you, Professor. Please do not worry. We will do all we can to protect both Sino and Cyrus. Traveler, Paimon, let's head to the Academia and regroup.
Okay.
Useless.
You're here? I thought you were going after... Ah, I guess you lost their trail.
We went to Cyrus's house. No one was there. Sino got there before us, but he was long gone by the time we arrived.
He didn't say where he was going?
No. He left us a letter and told us not to go after him.
Can't say I'm surprised.
Typical Sino. Anyway, some updates on progress on our end. I drew the emblem from memory again, but in more detail this time.
I checked some ancient texts for a similar design. The one I found was a little blurry, but the similarities in the general form and certain details were clear enough to confirm a match.
Yeah, and we're lucky we found anything at all. It turns out the emblem was all but lost to history. We scoured the entire academia collection, and that book was the only one with a record of the motif.
Meanwhile, Arav managed to get Uraka to disclose his source. The one who told him about Cyrus's embezzled funds was a young man from the desert. According to Uraka, he had a striking presence and was well educated.
Apparently, the two met in the tavern over a game of cards. The guy claimed to be in the city for business as part of a merchant caravan. Uraka was intrigued when he heard what his new acquaintance had to say, and brought up the idea of extorting Cyrus for Mora. The guy encouraged him to go ahead with it, then handed him some pen and paper to write the letter.
I see. So it could be that this person planted the paper intentionally.
So, how do we find this guy? Did Uraka say where he is?
He doesn't know. He claims not to have seen him since that day in the tavern. The man gave him some tips on how to carry out the extortion, but from then on, Uraka was acting alone.
Nephis and Arav have gone to meet the Court of 30 and review the city's entry and exit records. Also, Nephis admitted that the Temple of Silence in the Academia is just a facade. The true Temple of Silence once came to the rainforest to establish a collaboration with the Academia, but as time went by, the sages gradually became corrupt and foolish. The Temple of Silence felt that they could no longer trust the Academia and ended the partnership. They retreated back to the desert about 400 years ago. Ever since its inception, the Temple of Silence has been the guardians of King Deshret's civilization and belief system. They traveled throughout Sumeru, sequestering and guarding any wisdom that posed a threat to the people's livelihoods. At its roots, it was a legitimate and reputable organization whose purpose was to guide people towards the right path.
The Academia of the day knew that the split would damage their reputation if it became a matter of public knowledge. And so, they set up a dummy organization of their own to conceal the truth.
Not only that, but they managed to keep up the charade for hundreds of years!
So how did Cyrus become acquainted with the true Temple of Silence if they left centuries ago?
I'll bet that's the question that bothered Sino. Probably why he went after him in such a rush.
Whoever is behind this, getting Uraka to extort Cyrus was only the first step of the plan. Their true goal in doing so was for Cyrus to see the emblem on the letter.
He must have recognized it right away. That'll be why he didn't want to involve the authorities. He probably hoped to take care of the whole thing by himself. Unfortunately for him, Sino had other plans.
Since the desert is where the Temple of Silence originated, that is in all likelihood where Cyrus went.
I have to go after him.
Really? Are you sure that's a good idea, with how you respond to the heat? Why don't we send someone else?
I should be fine, as long as I bring plenty of water. Besides, I just can't shake this ominous feeling that if we don't catch up to them soon...
गर्मी का इंसान देखिए कि दो चौथोड़ में डब होता ये पार्क का हमारे बेजी था पे लाना ले قال شلون شروق نام ترى يقولوا صوبه وما تشكي عشان كيخه بيوم تجاوما.
Everyone, I have news from the Corps of 30.
Master!
Oh, so that's Nafis, Tainari's master? Oh, we're fine.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Traveler and Paimon. Several independent eyewitnesses have reported seeing Cyrus and Mahamatra Sino leaving the city at different times. Both were heading in the direction of Caravan Rebat. I was going to suggest that you join forces with the Corps of 30 in this case. However, as I'm sure you've already heard from Al-Haytham and Kaveh, the Temple of Silence is involved. The Academia has made a number of decisions throughout history that I am ashamed to talk about. It may well be that no better choice was available to them, but those actions are nonetheless a stain on our legacy. I won't attempt to make you understand the Academia's perspective. Now is the time for action.
I understand where you're coming from, Master. But I'm afraid the situation might be more complicated than we thought. I think we need to keep a low profile, or risk making things worse.
Good point. If Cyrus is involved with the other side, or worse, if he's fallen into their hands, and... everyone, we have to get Cyrus and Sino back safely. We cannot afford to lose them.
Need our help? Whatever you need, we got you covered.
Really? Wonderful. You have my most sincere gratitude. Arav and I will continue to follow up on the lead from Uraka. Kaveh, Scribe Al-Haytham, I'd like to ask you to cover the duties of the House of Dana. Tainari, you are planning to go into the desert, correct?
I am. Kaveh, I'll be okay. You stay behind to help Master and Al-Haytham.
ناقي الحيطة.
Well, if you're sure. Okay. But be careful.
Thank you all. Arav, let's go.
Let's go!
You'd better get moving. Don't forget to ask for help when you need it.
Will do. Let's go, Tighnari. Hopefully we can catch up with Sino before it's too late.
Knowing him, he's probably covered a fair distance already, but we still have a shot. Let's take it.
Sein dai. Aber da mauch marscho, also sulka markigi. Ich werde hier sterben, weil ich nicht lüge, weil ich ein Madra bin. Das ist irgendwie 3 Sachen auf Fahrer, passot Karibia, passot Shea, wie ich harse wie. وقت ونسي به. So rauskommen, warte ونسي. So viel Imkennen hat er bestimmt schon eine ordentliche Strecke zurückgelegt, aber eine Gelegenheit gibt es noch. Wir haben Sino als Geheimdienst Al-Hetab, der ihn informiert. لكن دي بالك ليون أرجع الوليد ليون تفينك بتشكو أخي خيك جبالو مركبي أترى نيجا خسر سلاجابي تفينك أوكي Hüter des Versprechens Lupus aureus Fußspuren im Sand geht zum Garan Repat Cirrus ungewöhnliche Situation versetzt alle in Hellaufregung, sodass seiner ihm allein folgt. Als die guten Freunde, die ihr nun einmal seid, würdet du bleiben und niemals tatenlos dabei tun, wenn er in Schwierigkeiten gerät. Natürlich, große Kluft, Schauzähne, so Jim Jadana sama. Ja. Okay, dann ist Buta kama. Nebessiam Larkom hier. Ja, Marina kama ist Larkom, anders Buta kama. Garan Ribat. دار الشفاء تقريبا دول خبراتي اوكي هذا صوص واو that's a guy شيكاوني هيزو عطا وخي غوداي كاديهاغا دكارا دي كازوها يترم داي وخي ديغاني كاشك دا غوتي اينو سيامي شاسي بلاكيكي دي اغلاتين نا apeli ko ta sia chobu ku sa ka chobu da fa kot guys to gaming balaiva khari ke si pot roglo nas kash ke da kot aksi da ta de kazo ha redan shogun ko jo sa ha kot ba ta sama khaba wain es fakat da gai nach einer woche du khab kom sa
Add Astra. Thank you for Add Astra.
Swan Lawrence
Finding someone to chat to
Swan
would be better than
Lawrence
just standing around.
o imo ko da pingam granda rizatan Sebastian Meschert czytaj als meine Schutzengel. Es ist einfach perfekt, Alter. Es ist perfekt. Zehn Khana كيف تكون رودي غوت ورا عشان يستشهي بسرقة شغلة كاكي شاب زوج لاخت